Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast. It is showtime at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime! Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is MRN Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength and by Grunt Style. We are glad you joined us. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. And we're glad you tuned us in today. Great lineup. The Sage Fruit guest list. Mitch Faccinto and Carl Bowser going to join us. Easy for me to say. So a couple of big winners this past weekend. How are you?
Good, very good. Yourself?
Fantastic. Oh, just living the dream. It's all good. But
you're going to the Outlaw
I'm going to the Outlaws
weekend.
on Friday night. So, yes, the Lakeside Speedway. So, great stuff. Great weekend of racing. And let's get right to it. Our Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. You and I were just talking about this before we came on the air. How about C. Bell up at Eldora?
That was like artwork. He didn't just run the cushion or run. He ran the fence. That right rear tire. I mean, what he did was incredible.
Phenomenal.
That video was.
Yeah. It's like his inner Jack Hoddenscheld and Jack Hewitt came together.
Yeah, and I love both of those two, but he did it. He made it look easy. Those two
are wild.
Yeah, exactly.
He's very controlled.
I was trying to say it a little nicely, but yeah.
Those two are wild. And he just looked like you knew he was totally out of control, but yet he made it look like he was in control.
Yeah. And for how many sprint car races he's run that year? I mean, this year, it's
incredible. That's when you talk about Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson and those guys, for the limited amount of time they raced, to just be able to drop in those cars.
At Eldora, of all places.
At Eldora, yeah. So, 4th career World of Outlaw win, and I know Christopher's pretty happy with that. This whole Xfinity thing is not nearly as good for him as the Truck Series thing is. You know, that Truck Series deal, he could run some sprint car racing.
Yeah, it's really cutting into his sprint car schedule.
No, in another year or two, he goes Cup racing. Then he'll own a team. So there we go.
It comes full circle.
We can only hope. So great stuff up there at Eldora. Don't look now. Port Royal's got that big Tuscarora 50 coming up, but don't look now. There's a youngster up there that's starting to get dialed in at the Speed Palace, and that's young Freddie Raymer.
Yeah.
Won the last 2 times he's been there. I know we'll all talk next week. We'll be all twisted up, and everyone will be talking about Lance Deweese and then Danny and Lucas and everyone. But I'm telling you quietly, Freddie Raymer's becoming quite the force up there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially 2 wins in a row at Port.
Yeah.
LD didn't run this past weekend.
Yep, that's it.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. So stay tuned on that. But Freddie Raymer picked up the win on Friday night. Now, also in Pennsylvania, and I want to give a tip of the cap. Okay, we are sitting here. We're in October. And I don't care who you are in racing, you're tired, okay? You might be tired of rainouts. You might be tired of racing. Your budget is spent. You have no more engines. We're done. We're in October. Yet in Pennsylvania, Freddie Raymer, TJ Stutz, Dylan Cisney, and Lucas Wolf did all 4 races this weekend, including the double on Saturday. Yeah.
That's impressive.
I mean, I don't care what anyone says. I love this. I love this. But man, there are times where it's like, okay, I'm tired. Because there's sprint car racing every time you turn around. I'm tired of following it sometimes. You know. I mean,
well, you probably think they're thinking, all right, we got this much left, and in another month we're going to be saying, why didn't we go?
I know exactly. Well, there's 4. Kudos, and Freddie and Lucas grabbed wins along the way. And how about this? Want to mention this? I know this is Wing Nation. But sprint car racer Sammy Rodriguez' grandson, okay, picked up the win Sunday at Talladega. Yeah, that's Eric Almirola.
Yeah.
He's got sprint cars in his blood. So how about that? Kudos to Eric Almirola picking up the win. Of course, Motor Racing Network will be at Kansas this weekend, and someone from the team is going to Lakeside on Friday night for the World of Outlaws. There you have it, your Classic Ink screen printing embroidery hot topics. Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery, all for hats, for towels, for hoodies, for shirts, and everything else. You can find out more at www.classicinkusa.com. We're going out west. Mitch Faccinto, he joins us next.
The American American Sprint Car Series is back for its 27th year. Whether you're catching the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour at tracks like Williams Grove, Skagit Speedway, Knoxville Raceway, Lucas Oil Speedway, or any of the 6 regional tours across the United States, you'll find the ASCS Nation racing at a track near you. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram today. Then see the full schedule, track-by-track history, updates, and more at ASCSRacing.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Terry McCarl. Everyone has heroes. Erin's is Terry McCarl. Steve's is Paul Sides. Winged Nation on MRN.com.
Thank you, Terry. I think. Always glad to hear from T-Mac. T-Mac's getting ready for the Trophy Cup, I think, this weekend. I saw that on his social media. They celebrated a big anniversary, too.
Yes.
Him and Lori did.
God bless
My God,
Lori.
that is a saint right there. Oh, my gosh. Got to put up with T-Mac and all those boys. Oh, my gosh. So, crazy stuff. You know, that's what a lot of people are talking about in California, but there's still a buzz from what happened on Saturday night at Hanford. Let's go to our World Racing Hotline. Race winner from Hanford, King of the West Series, second career King of the West win. Mitch Faccinto joins us. Hello, Mitch. Welcome to Winged Nation.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Well, man, it is great to talk to you. Congratulations. Tell us about that win on Saturday night.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pretty big one. Able to sneak by Kyle there at the end. Our car was really good all night, and Kyle was a little bit better on the bottom than we were, and got lucky with the red there with 3 to go. And I told myself on the red, if he commits to the bottom, you got to run the top as hard as you can. If he goes to the top, you got to hit your marks on the bottom. And he committed, and I think he slipped up one corner down low, and I was able to get a little bit of an advantage on him. So it worked out well. It was a good race. The big crowd there. The 360 race was good as well. So it's pretty cool to have a big show like that 3 minutes from my house with the hometown crowd behind us. So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Mitch, talk about that last lap. I mean, that cushion up there looked pretty rough, and it looked pretty far out. You had run the top and the bottom during the race, but it seemed like there was a little bit of, here I go, I'm giving it all. This might not work out, but I want to win this race. You seemed a little on the edge, but you made it work.
Yeah, I know Kyle had been running the bottom for the majority of the race, and he was really good down there. So under the red, I was up there trying to pack it down, doing everything I can because I had a feeling that's where I was going to have to go. And I'm primarily known as somebody who runs the bottom more than the top. But I knew at that point I didn't really have an option. I was either going to come out in the lead or drive it off the edge, come out third, fourth. I didn't really have an option. We're not running for points. I know Kyle and Shane and those guys are. So I just kind of ran it as hard as probably the 3 hardest laps I've ever run, a sprint car on top. But it worked out for us.
Do you prefer to be Mitch or Mitchell? Your Twitter is Mitch, but I hear people calling you Mitchell. What do you prefer?
Either one. I get called both all the time. I even get called Michael most of the time. Me and my brother get mixed up probably more than anybody else. Mitch is fine though.
That explains it, because I've seen the Michael too, and I'm like, don't even confuse me. That's for sure. You said you feel like you stole one from Kyle Hurston. I watched your post-race interviews. I'm never big on asking drivers about other drivers, but I'm telling you, I don't care what anyone says. You're in California. You're running with the World of Outlaws. You take one off from shots. There's a little bit of extra about it. What does it mean to be able to drive around the guy that's right now the king of the West, if you will?
Yeah. With him, he's leading King of the West points. He's leading the SCCG points. he's usually the favorite in pretty much every race we go to, and I feel like he's the favorite going into next week at the Trophy Cup. So him and Shane. Usually, I think without that red, he probably wins and we probably run second. So to get the opportunity to have one last shot at him and get around him there at the end, it doesn't happen too often to where we have tracks that give us an option to choose which lane to go to and to be able to steal one from him there at the end. It was special. I like racing with Kyle. He races everybody the same. He races really hard. So to steal one from him there was pretty cool.
I think you can say you earned it. I won't use the word steal. I think you earned that one, running the top like you did. Mitch, I think I read somewhere that this is your first win of the year. It's October. How important is it to get that win? And obviously Trophy Cup next week and coming up, you got great momentum. But how important is it to get in victory lane to make your season validated?
Yeah, it was a big one. We actually did sneak off a win really early in April with the Sprint Car Challenge Tour at Placerville, but it's still been 6 months since we've had a win. We've had a handful of podiums recently since the Outlaws left. We've run pretty good at Placerville and Chico, so we've had the speed. We just really haven't had been able to finish the night off and get up top of the podium. So yeah, it was a big win for us and for our team and Stan Greenberg, who gives me a really good car every time we go to the track, and great motors and the equipment to be competitive, and I know we'll be just as competitive next week at the Trophy Cup.
Well, let's talk about that. It is the big one out there, the Trophy Cup. How do you approach this one? I mean, this is a crazy format. It's a crazy schedule. It's a crazy weekend. It's a crazy racetrack. What's your approach going into this one?
I wish I could answer that. I mean, I don't really know. The track is tough. It's always rough and choppy, kind of like the fishing was last week. So you got to run up on the wall, but you can't tear your stuff up in a heat race or anything like that. You got to be able to qualify good, and just to get into the show Saturday, and then you got to last all 50 laps Saturday on the track that's usually not too easy to run. You usually got to be up on the fence at some point throughout the weekend. So I've heard a lot of people say being patiently aggressive is the way to win, but I don't know. We've been able to run 6th there in the overall points a couple years ago. So and we've got a lot of laps at Larry. So I think we'll be okay. Qualifying points are going to be big early in the night, and then to get through the heat races are really important. So see what happens.
Mitch, with that crazy point system, where every time you're on the track, every pass means something, is that something you like, or are you kind of in your routine of the normal race night?
I like it. I think it's exciting for the fans. As long as we get a racetrack where we can pass. I know racing 3 nights out here, even it's going to be somewhat hot, even though it's October. I know it's hard for the track guys to get a consistent track when you run 3 nights with 90 race cars. So as long as we have a track that we can race on, I think it makes it really exciting for the fans and for the teams to be able to have a lot of passes, a lot of last lap stuff. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of cars this year, a lot of really good cars, a lot of drivers coming from back east and stuff like that coming in to try to win the big money. So I'm looking forward to it.
It is going to be fun, that's for sure. Mitch, congratulations on that win, and thanks for joining us here on Winged Nation.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
There we go. Mitch Faccinto joining us here fresh off from that win, now looking at the Trophy Cup. We'll be looking at the Trophy Cup as well on Thursday on Winged Nation Weekend, presented by Hefner Racing Products. Rico Abreu, one of the sponsors of it, and he's hoping to not only sponsor and send them a check, but take the big check home also. We'll talk to Rico then. Hey, we need to step away. When we come back, Carl Bowser had a tea party in Victory Lane at Lernerville, and we'll chat with him next.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is proud to open the Brian Clausen Suite Tower in 2018. Located next to the museum, it's a testament to the sprint car community's commitment to honor Brian Clausen's legacy while helping the museum sustain financial stability into the future. To donate to the Brian Clausen Suite Tower and help cover construction costs, visit bcforever.com or call the museum directly at 800-874-4488. Bring your friends by the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum next time you visit Knoxville.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld Racing Wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld Racing Wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld Racing Wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing, proven speed.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing. Sage Fruit has been a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the last 15 years and a proud partner of Winged Nation for the last 3 years. We love sprint car racing, and we are there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
I'm Danny Dietrich. Here are Steve Post and Erin Evernham on Winged Nation on MRN.com.
Welcome back. It is MRN's Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Erin Evernham and Steve Post. Let's go back to the Weld Racing Hotline. Fresh off from another trip to Victory Lane out in western Pennsylvania, Carl Bowser joins us on the line. Hello, Carl. Welcome back to Winged Nation.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, there's so much I want to talk to you about, but congratulations on that win in the Steel City Stampede. It took you the whole distance to get to get the win there, but tell us about that race on Saturday night.
Yeah, well, you're 100% correct. I think I only led that race for maybe the last about 5 feet, but that's all I needed to do. But they kind of stretched that race out over 2 days. You run a heat race one night and you feature the next, and you know, we weren't very good in our heat and ended up starting 14th in the feature, and knew we needed some yellows to get there. And I think I got to 4th, and they had a yellow with, I think, 4 to go, 3 or 4 to go. And I was just able to get up there. And one thing, our car's been working really well. My crew chief, Jeff, and I, we've really been kind of really getting together and communicating really well, and it's really showed. And, you know, we always say if we can just be close to the front toward the end of the race, you know, we should be able to go there and get the job done.
Carl, how does it work when you have the heat race on or was it Friday or Saturday?
Friday and Saturday.
Okay, yeah. Saturday,
Yep.
the feature. Is that must just throw you off? The track conditions are obviously going to be a lot different from when you were on track. I've actually never done a race like that. How do you approach that? Do you watch obviously you're watching the track all night, but it's got to be a little different for you.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely different. I don't know, probably a Western PA thing here. You know, they add a bunch of divisions and they stretch it all out and make it a couple-day show. But, yeah, I think the way we've done it, I guess the last 2 years, you kind of just have to get in the mindset. I know we did Saturday night of just kind of going back through our notes and, you know, because you're not on the track all night, you have to kind of figure out where you need your car to be for a feature, you know. So we really just went back through our notes a bunch and kind of figured out where we were, feature time a couple different times there that we were good, and kind of made the adjustments that we thought we needed, and then just go to the fence and watch the track all night and kind of hopefully guess it right.
Carl, one of Erin and I, one of our favorite stories the first part of this year was our buddy Mark Dobmeyer. He found himself early in the season, just before the season, without a ride. And he decided to get a bunch of buddies together. He had to move into a new house and all kinds of other stuff, but he put together his own team. Fast forward to August, and our buddy Carl Bowser finds himself in the same spot. Can you describe to us pulling this all together, pulling a team together at the end of August, winning your first race, and now having this thing starting to be one of the guys you're keeping an eye on? What does it mean to you, and how difficult? What was the challenge of doing all of that?
Yeah, well, it was a big undertaking for sure. I know my wife and I, we're extremely proud of what we've been able to do in a short amount of time. But really, we we parted ways with Chiapelli's on I think it was a Sunday or a Monday, and we didn't really know what we were going to do. I kind of wanted to take a weekend or two off, and we actually found some engines that we were going to buy and just resell, and picked those up on a Thursday. And then I talked to my crew chief, and he's like, well, you know, we have cars sitting here. You just got an engine. We could probably get it all together in time for Saturday. So we took about 24, 36 hours and just got everything put together. And, you know, we're sponsored by a body shop, so they painted everything for us, and we got a guy that got us 2 number 11s and threw it on. And, you know, we were a borrowed pickup and a borrowed trailer and pretty much a car and a four-wheeler in the trailer, and we showed up and actually won, and it was pretty good. And I think the biggest thing is we were kind of all together as a team, and everybody was relaxed and just kind of there having fun and just doing our job.
Wow, that's an awesome story. Carl, does a win mean anything different, or does it feel different as a team owner and a driver than just as a driver?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a lot more probably hard work. You know, having to do the dollars and cents side of everything. But you know, my wife and I, we bought our team a few years ago from my parents when they wanted to be done racing. So we bought everything from them, and we owned that for about half a year. And then the Chiapelli deal kind of presented itself to us, so we went that direction. So we felt like in that season when we first bought my parents out, we were kind of just on the verge of kind of understanding all of that, and we were winning races and everything. And then we got this Chiapelli deal, and not that set us back by any means. I think it was good for us, but now to kind of get it all back and be able to have a team, have a truck and trailer, we can do what we want. We can do the marketing the way that we want to do it, and I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, and I know you and your wife both are so into the business end of it. We're always talking about the Turner's Premium Iced Tea. We always have so much fun chatting about that. By the way, really good job chugging it. You got some chug points there in Victory Lane. Really, really good there. But I'm reading into what you're saying. That's the plan going forward as far as looks like you're going to be team owner and driver Carl Bowser. Is that kind of the plan as you look to the future?
Yeah, we're kind of up in the air. We're talking to some owners. You know, our biggest thing is we have all of these marketing partners that, you know, above anything else, we want to make sure they're taken care of going forward. So yeah, we've talked about, you know, full all-star schedule next year. We talked about doing like the Tim Shaver route and just kind of showing up wherever, and so we're kind of all up in the air, but you know, we have a lot of people behind us that we got to make sure that we get taken care of. So whether that's our car, someone else's car, whatever the case may be, that's priority number one.
That makes sense. Carl, is there anything else left on the race calendar for the year?
Yeah, we're headed to Port Royal this weekend, and then I think after Port this weekend we'll decide if we're going to head back to the Tuscarora 50, and then we are actually headed down to see you guys. We're going to run the World Finals, so.
Awesome.
When we're down there, you guys have to stop. We'll have a whole refrigerator full of Turners in the trailer.
Now we're talking. But now, those of you that follow along on Twitter, you better make sure your wife gets a little of that tea along the way. There's a little bit of a problem there, I think you have.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, sometimes the tea doesn't make it the whole way from Victory Lane back to the trailer, so we'll have to work on that. I know we trophies to fans in the stands or marketing partners, and she's there for the check. So I didn't know there was a shortage of tea situation. So I have to make sure I save her some.
Well, we're here for you. We're here to help with counseling or whatever you need to get through this, all as long as we get our stash of tea, of course. Yeah. But Carl, congratulations. We absolutely love the story. We love the hard work that you and Kristen have put into this thing, and to see the fruits of those labors. And we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks here in Charlotte.
Hey, that sounds great.
There we go. Carl Bowser joining us, and we got tea coming our way. Yes. Boy, that wasn't even subtle. Let's step away. More Winged Nation in just a moment.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in designing and manufacturing purpose-built, application-specific hydraulic cylinders with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger, crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. AggressiveHydraulics.com.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery. Located in Greater Pittsburgh, Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA screen printing and embroidery at the track and on your back.
O'Reilly.
Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you replace your worn wiper blades with a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get premium blades that ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 instantly on a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, this is Jack Hodenshield, and you're watching Winged Nation on MRN.com.
It is Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. We are so glad you joined us. Time to talk about our National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum birthday calendars. Later this week, Ralph Parkinson. How about this? Friday, Brian Brown having a party, and he's going to party in Lakeside. I was hoping he's going to party in Lakeside.
Big party.
But his birthday is on Friday. I wonder if they're going to have. I wonder if Heather going to have some cake there or something.
Just a minute ago it was about the tea. Now you're looking for cake.
Well, I mean, I got to keep this portly body of myself rolling along. So, Gordon Woolley birthday Sunday. Chad Kemena birthday on Sunday, and Monday, Tom Cherry, and it would have been the birthday of the Dean of American Motorsports Journalist, Chris Economaki, a 1993 inductee into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Chris was born in 1920. We lost Chris about 6 years ago. At age 14, he sold and wrote for the National Auto Racing News. In 1950, at 30-year-old, he became the editor and owner and later on the operator of National Speed Sport News. Had an amazing career in print, television, radio, and a public address announcer. So the great Chris Economaki. Did you ever run across him much?
Oh, yeah.
I know. Yeah, I did too. My first gig in the sport, I was working at Pocono Raceway. And what they did is for races, they would have a couple of us guys that were we were kind of like stringers. So in other words, I had 5 teams, and I would bring quotes back for the 5 teams. It was the IndyCar race up there. It was the Domino's Pizza 500, I think. 5 teams. And so we're starting to do it, and I said, it's interesting. Nobody has AJ. And they said, Chris Economaki takes care of AJ for us. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. I'm sitting on pit road. Of course, my eyeballs are this big. I'm all excited because I'm here and the IndyCars are going by at 215 mile an hour and everything like that. Up pit road, here comes AJ Allmendinger just cursing Chris Economaki. Chris is walking behind him. AJ's walking backward, and they are dropping F-bombs and everything at each other all the way up pit road. I said, I'm kind of glad Chris has AJ Foyt. Those two were quite the pair. As characters, great characters. And that's what it's about at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. And Chris Economaki, a 1993 inductee. We are going to be busy. The Aggressive Hydraulics upcoming calendar. Tomorrow, we got a new product out. It's called Winged Nation Presents. Last week, I sat down with Danny Dietrich. This week on the show, you had a chance to hang out with David Gravel.
Yeah.
How about that?
It was great. I love these interviews because you can get a little in depth. We talked about how he got into racing, what he wants to do, what his year last year. So, yeah.
Good stuff.
Check it out.
Good stuff. Thursday, Winged Nation Weekend presented by Hefner Racing Products. Rico Abreu. Saturday, folks. Winged Nation presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. Bill Wilburn. Those of you old sprint car fans, you know who I'm talking about. Those of you newbies, you need to check this show out to find out some of the interesting history of the sport. Wednesday, October 31st, it's the Keith Coons Give Back Classic pre-race show. Rip the Fence and Winged Nation teaming up for that. And Friday, will be at the Pavilion for ZMAX Dragway Wing Nation at the World's Finals. So we appreciate Mitch Faccinto and Carl Bowser for joining us here
Wing
today.
Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Wing Nation can be found on demand at MRN.com, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.